Alright guys, Papa Pepper here with a 1-year dread update. I wasn't actually sure when I started these because I didn't mark it on the calendar or anything, but I was watching a video yesterday, which was my birthday, that I actually made on my birthday in 2017, and as it turns out I had some dreads at that point. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just show you a brief clip of what my hair and head actually looked like 1 year ago, yesterday, and then once we establish that the fact I had dreads a year ago, we'll call this the 1-year update. As you can see there, I actually just started the top of my head because that's all I really had hair on, and the sides were pretty much shaved at that point. They were just growing out. That's an interesting story about why I had, that type of haircut in the beginning, but I had started these kind of with some back combing on the top, and then as soon as the stuff on the side got long enough, I just began to palm roll it till it knotted up. So I wound up with a lot of just little guys hanging out down there on the bottom. Some of them are still there, and then since then a lot of them I've actually let kind of just join together as well in Congo. The stuff on top is still growing pretty good. This is one of the most kind of random sets of dreads I've had. This would be my I think 5th or 6th set in my life. Sometimes they've been really uniform. The least has been 34 at a time. The wind's catching that camera pretty good right now. Let's see if I can do this. But the least I've ever had is 34. The most I've ever had is 234, and those were just a bunch of, they kind of look like these guys here. Where are they? Yeah, like these guys here, where there was just a bunch of little micro dreads, 234 of them. This time we're letting some, like I said, on the back grow together, where you're winding up with multiple ones coming off of one root. Some of them are still staying, just regular, and then some of them actually letting just Congo together too up on top, and different ones. Let me see if I can find a good example of that. Well, these are actually starting to grow together. These ones here are starting to grow together. This whole section back here is starting to grow together, and I could, rip them apart and keep them separated, or I could just let them grow. And right now a lot of them I'm just letting kind of fatten up, join forces, that type of thing. Man, how can I not find what I'm looking for? Oh, here's an example. So here you can see where these couple little ones have joined together into one big fat one at the roots. So it's kind of got some split ends there and stuff. But it's been a year, pretty good for 1 year in. You can see, the top is grown like this long now, and then all the sides, where there wasn't really any hair here a year ago, they're coming in. Oh, look at that guy. Pretty good, and a good length for a year with a dread. My hair kind of grows about ½ inch a month or so, so you figure over the course of a year you'd have like 6 inches worth of hair. But when you dread it, it grows a lot slower, because while the quick hair is waiting for the slow hair, it kind of just it starts to knot up and stuff. So here's a pile of them. I have no idea how many there is at the root or at the top, but despite all the kind of haphazardness up there, despite how many are staying solo, how many are joining together, how many are starting to Congo, it does still look pretty uniform, pretty kept. So I've definitely had more uniform looking ones, but for this stage of my life, I think that it's pretty good. I've mentioned before, I think on video perhaps, that I think if people can make it through the first year of having dreads, because that's going to be kind of the toughest part. They're going to look the most straggly, the most kind of rough as they kind of come into their own maturity and really lock up and start kind of growing out as dreadlocks. If you can make it through that first year, it's always better. And then too, some of these, I started with the back combing, all the stuff up on top, and then I kind of palm rolled the stuff on the side. And some of these little ones on the side, when they were like that long, they were already a knot, a dread. And if a dread's allowed to grow out and kind of mature on its own, rather than taking long hair and trying to turn it into a dread, I think they're always better when they form on their own and as they kind of grow out and mature that way, as opposed to trying to make a dread out of hair. When it's allowed to grow out, I think they're always stronger, smoother, they look nicer, and when you try to, make one, it's, I don't know, it doesn't seem to work out as well. Eventually, they'll come into their own, and they will, knot up and lock up and be there and formed and stuff, and, to each their own. People can decide how and what and when and where and why to do things, but for me, it's the way I like my head to be. I've definitely I shaved off a big pile once in February, back when I lived up in Wisconsin. I'd put on 2 stocking caps and it wouldn't be as warm as my hair had been. And yeah, so I'm not gonna do that. It's 45 today, but not too bad out here in the Ozarks. So I just came down to the lake for a bit, and anyway, that's the 1 year dread update. So, all right, guys, Papa out. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.